Imagine a baby elephant playing by a peaceful pool when suddenly he gets stuck in thick mud. His family is nearby, but they don't know he's in trouble. Will they reach him in time, or will he be left behind? The clock is ticking. The story begins at Otto Wildlife Sanctuary, deep in the heart of Africa. It was a warm, sunny day, and everything seemed perfect. An elephant lived happily with his herd, always surrounded by his family's love and protection. Nearby, a baby elephant was playing joyfully by a natural pool. Full of energy, the baby elephant splashed around, enjoying the cool water with no care in the world. But then, something unexpected happened. As the baby elephant played, he wandered too close to the muddy edge of the pool and sank deeper into the mud. At first, it was just a little bit of fun, but soon, he realized he couldn't move. His legs were stuck in the thick, slippery mud. The more he tried to free himself, the tighter the mud held him. Panic set in as the playful, carefree baby elephant understood he was trapped and couldn't escape alone. Meanwhile, the rest of the herd, unaware of the baby's struggle at first, began to prepare to move on. The adult elephants started walking away, assuming everything was fine. But then, they noticed something wasn't right. They stopped, looked around, and soon saw the baby elephant trapped in the mud, struggling desperately to free himself. Elephants are known for their deep bonds, and this herd was no exception. Without hesitation, they rushed to help their young member. Working together, they used their strength to try and pull him out. But no matter how hard they tried, the baby elephant remained stuck, unable to move. The herd didn't give up though. They kept calling out to each other, using every ounce of strength they had. But there was no progress. The baby elephant wasn't sinking deeper, but he wasn't getting free either. As time passed, the situation grew more urgent. The adults seemed to be running out of ideas, and hope began to fade. But just when it seemed like all hope was lost, something unexpected happened. The sound of a jeep's engine could be heard in the distance. The herd immediately went on alert. They surrounded the baby elephant, standing strong and protecting him from what they saw as a potential threat. The men in the jeep tried to push their way through the herd, quickly trying to figure out what was happening. But the elephants stood strong, refusing to move or back down from their protective stance. A group of tourists watching from a safe distance could only stand in awe. They knew they couldn't get involved, but they were mesmerized by the sight of the elephants working together to keep their young safe. Despite the standoff, the baby elephant remained stuck in the mud, unable to free himself. As time passed, the younger elephants started to panic. They felt the danger around them, and one by one, began to move away. They chose to save themselves rather than stay behind to help. The older elephants were faced with a tough choice. Should they stay to help the baby elephant or leave and join the rest of the herd for safety? They knew the baby was in trouble, but they also understood the importance of staying together as a group. After a long pause, the older elephants made the heartbreaking decision to leave the baby behind. Slowly, the herd moved on, leaving the baby alone in the mud. With his energy fading, the baby elephant struggled harder as the jeep moved closer. There was nothing he could do. The jeep had won. But what were the men's true intentions? It turned out that the men in the jeep weren't a threat after all. They were actually rangers from the sanctuary who had heard the baby elephant's cries. Their mission was clear: to rescue the baby elephant. However, there was a problem. The herd had already left, and the rangers knew they couldn't just free the baby without finding its family first. The situation was tricky, and the rangers needed to come up with a plan. The first attempt to free the baby elephant involved one of the rangers wading into the muddy water to dig around its legs, hoping to loosen the thick mud. But it was too much to handle. The mud was heavy, and no matter how hard the ranger tried, the baby elephant remained stuck. Next, the rangers tied a rope to the baby elephant's legs, hoping to pull him out. Despite their combined strength, the baby elephant was too heavy, and the rope didn't budge. It felt like all their efforts were in vain. Just when it seemed like hope was lost, something amazing happened. After hours of struggle, the baby elephant finally started to free himself. With a final burst of energy, he pulled his legs free from the mud, and the rangers cheered. The baby had done what they couldn't, and everyone was filled with relief and joy. But then came another problem. The baby elephant had finally escaped the mud. But now the question was, where was the herd? The rangers knew they couldn't leave the baby alone, and they couldn't trust him to wander off by himself. So, they made the difficult decision to tie him up again, but in a safe and gentle way, while they searched for his family. It wasn't an easy choice, but it was the best option. The baby needed to be with his herd, and they couldn't risk him getting hurt or running off. As the rangers worked fast to find the herd, the baby elephant, exhausted and scared, started to calm down. His ordeal had worn him out, and he was clearly stressed. Elephants, like humans, can feel emotional pain, and the baby was no exception. His fear was visible, and he seemed confused by everything that had happened. Realizing the baby might be dehydrated, the rangers decided to offer him some water. One of them quickly set up a small pool and filled it. When the baby elephant saw the water, he immediately used his trunk to drink. The cool water seemed to ease his tension, and for a brief moment, everything felt peaceful. The baby elephant, now hydrated, relaxed, waiting for his family to return. With the baby elephant hydrated and feeling a little better, the rangers knew it was time to find the herd. They couldn't waste any more time. As they searched, the baby elephant stayed alert, his big ears twitching and eyes darting around. He seemed to be listening closely, hoping to hear his family's familiar calls. The rangers saw how badly he wanted to be with them, and they knew reuniting him with the herd was their top priority. Then, suddenly the baby elephant's ears perked up. He heard something distant. It was his herd. His eyes brightened with hope, and he tugged at the ropes, trying to break free. He was desperate to join his family again. But the rangers, knowing the situation was still risky, couldn't let him go just yet. They needed to figure out where the herd was before they could release him safely. Just then, the tourists, who had been watching from a distance, became a crucial part of the rescue. They had seen the herd earlier and knew exactly where they were. They quickly shared the information with the rangers. Now, with a clear direction, the rangers untied the baby elephant. Without wasting a second, the baby elephant charged off toward the herd, eager to reunite with his family. The baby elephant's journey was finally over. He had found his family, and the herd welcomed him with love, surrounding him with their protective trunks. The rangers watched from a distance, feeling relieved and happy to see the baby safe. After a long, tough day, the little elephant was back where he belonged, surrounded by the warmth of his family. It was a beautiful moment, full of hope and love. So that's all for today. What are your thoughts about this story? Tell us in the comment section below, and if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Your support means so much to us. Until then, take care and thanks for watching.